Hi, welcome to this new video tutorial. Today we'll continue with our series on real-time building real-time applications. And today we are going to connect socket IO to Cassandra. And before that, we are going to install our Cassandra inside the Docker. So at the end of the day, you will have one applications like this one. This is what we have at the end of the day. We have a smooth real-time, or call it real-time shot application or whatever, where we'll be able to save some like tutorial, like John is the name, username, I am John. So if you send this message here, you can see that this client here received it. Yeah. At the same time, so it's just like a short applications, and we keep refreshing this one. You can see that it is saved here, even though the order of message is not maintained, but the message is persistent, and you can have it over sessions. So this is what we are going to do here. Main important thing here is to see how you can connect your socket IO with the database. And on top of that, we are going to extend it with additional features after in other series. So without a further ado, what we have to do now is to bring back our IDE. It's our IDE here, and then come to the terminal. Then we go to E drive, where we do our development. So we are inside there, and then what we have to do is to create the directory. We call it socket IO Docker Cassandra. Then we can come to that socket IO Docker. So we are inside that directory. We clear everything, and then we can now come into our Docker here and try to go back also to that same folder. It's called this one. So we are there, and then what we have to do now is to install Docker, to install Cassandra in Docker. In order to do that one here, we just have to write clear screen, okay. Then we have to type Docker pull Cassandra. Then it will pull the latest versions of Cassandra and install it in Docker. So you can see here, yes, use here the local versions, the latest versions of Cassandra is installed. Then what we have to do is to run our Cassandra. So we run it with Docker run name Cassandra, which is the instance name, and then -d to run run the container in detached mode, and then we have to set -d and then -p to set the port. So the port is going to be running on 942 external and 9042 internal. Then we can specify again the instance name Cassandra, and run this one. You can see, bam, after running this one, we have our Cassandra, which is running. So what we have to do now is to interact with our Cassandra. So let's come back here. And if we come here and try to type docker exec -it Cassandra bash. So then we can see that we have entered the bash shell is ending here with hash. Then we can enter now the CQL, the CQL shell. Okay, it is currently being used. Connections refuse, and we have to check why. Okay, what we can do, we can check the log. So if we check the log, docker log Cassandra, and we can see here we have seen completed here. Should be okay. And let's try now to, instead of doing SQL shell, let's try to add host here. Okay, so now yeah, it's okay now. So we just need to type SQL shell host, and then now we can connect to it as we are connecting from our host and not directly from Docker. So that is it. It's running. Then the next thing that we have to do, now will be to create our database, and our database, we need to create that one. So we are going to call it socket keyspace. So we create it here. So what I will do, I will take a sample SQL, just put it here for you to see what we are doing. Here is no. So I'm going to use this following here. Then we are going to create our socket database with this script SQL. Paste it. Then it's created. So what we have done here is that we just create a keyspace or our database called socket.io _ keyspace here, and we also set the strategy as simple, and replication factor is 1. So now we have to use it. If it is really created here and we use it, we can see it's switch to that, our database. Then we need to create our message table. And the message table here will have the ID, the username, the message, and the timestamp. Paste it equally. Okay, our database is ready. And if we select all from messages, we can see that no row is nothing is available. So that one is done. Then we can come back now. Go back again to the directory is VS Code, and then go back to socket IO Docker, socket IO. Here is a directory where you want to do everything, and then once inside the directory, now we have to create initialize the Node.js. So we are inside here, and then in order to initialize the Node.js, you have to write npm init -y. And then once it's coming, we have to open the folder to our VS Code. It is called socket IO, this one. So here is that here. And here is the content here. Nothing is there except the package .json file that we just created here to initialize it. Our Node.js projects. Then once that one is done, we need to install some packages now. npm install express. This one will handle the HTTP server creations. And then we also need to add socket IO for handling our real-time communications. Then at last we have Cassandra driver -driver, and then which will allow us to connect Node.js with Cassandra. Then we are there, everything has been installed. Then now what we need to do now is to create one public folder. And inside this folder here, we are going to create two files. We are going to create the client.js that will contain our client code. And then we also need to create the index.html where our front end will be added. And at last, in the main directory, we need to create server.js. Here is our server. Our server code will go here. Then now, what we need to import some necessary modules. Forward the video here. So here is Express that we are importing. We have also HTTP, and then here is our server variable declarations, which will require socket IO, and the path here will use to access the directory, and then our Cassandra driver. Then we need to initialize Express we need to create the app here, and the server, create our server. We initialize Express here, then create our server and pass Express to it, and then here we create also an instance of our socket IO. Then after that one, we need to find a way to load a file from the public directory. So this file that we have here, we need to tell Express to go here and pick the files. So then that's what we do now. So we are saving the static file from this public folder that we have here. And then after that one is done, we need to set up Cassandra to connect with Cassandra client to connect with connections. So with connections details. So here you are creating an instance of our Cassandra client, and then we pass the address. Cassandra address is this one, and then we also have the local data center that we set here as the default name, and here is the key space, which is our name of the database that we created before. Then once that one is done, we need to connect to Cassandra and log errors and success. So then we come here and connect. Then we log if it's successful. Then we set we log connected. If there's error, then we are going to log connections errors. So once that one is done, now, we need to come and then the connections. So on connections, what do we do? So if there is a connections, we are going to declare a socket. So whenever someone will connect to our server, a client come and connect to server, what we are going to do is we are going to log that in the console that the user is connected with the ID of the user who has connected to our server. Then once the user is connected, we are going to fetch the data in the database, the previous data in the database, and then put it in the user front end, so that the user can always see all the data. No matter when you come and connect, you should be able to see all the updated data. So, but for now, we just query the data. So that's what we get here. Client, we connect to our Cassandra client, select all from messages, and then the result here, the result come and we pass it to the message, and then emit it and send it to the clients with this ID here as event here, previous events, previous messages. So if there is error here, we are going to display it in the console. So then once that one is done, we need also to be able to listen to new messages from clients, because after all, this is going to be a chat applications. And then, so that's what we get here. So we listen here to chat messages. If there is a new message that comes as a data, then we'll take it, then split it. As you saw, you are sending the username and the message. So we try to extract them from the data that we just received, and then we generate a random ID that we pass to the ID, and we also get the current timestamp, And then we use this query now to insert the data, the query for inserting the values that we just received in our table. Then we execute the query here, we set it, and then we published the message that we just received from one client to all connected clients. Then the last thing that we have to do before opening the port is to disconnect. Then we have to disconnect here. And once disconnected here, we also display the message disconnected. Then once that one is done, let's go and start. The final message that we have here is okay. We define the ports and then we set our server to be running on port 3000. So if that one is clear, then we should be able to have node server. Okay, so it is running and is connected to 2 clients. It's running now and is connected to 2 clients. As you remember, we had this one, which was this. This is the client to which it was connected, and then this is another client to which is connected. So these are the 2 clients. The previous one have been disconnected, and yeah. So these are the 2 clients to which it's connected. So once that one is done now, we need to come and prepare our front end. And in order to prepare our front end here, so there is, let me try. Okay. There is usually one shortcut. Let me. No, it's not working. Okay, whatever. And we are going to do this one the hard way. So. Here is our sample HTML here, and this is a default HTML that we have. Nothing is there. So only the title is set. Real time, as you can see, the real time with socket IO is done, is shown. The title of the page is displayed, and then we have to load the socket IO libraries here. So this is how we, by default, this is the syntax to load the socket IO inside our HTML page. And then once that one is done, we also need to we have our client here. Our client code is going to be written here. You also need to import that one in our HTML page, and then, as you know, we should set it at the bottom. It is good to set this one at the bottom of the page, not on top of the page. So source / client.js. So it should be in the current directory. So we just set this one. And then once that one is done, what we have to do now is to declare one big div one top div, and then this one we are going to pass a class that we call shot container. So this is everything that we are going to do now will go here. So starting with that one, we are going to set the header. We set the header. If we refresh this one, our header is already there coming. And then the next thing that we have to do is to set our display, the main content where we display our message. So we had one table where we were seeing all the old messages. So this is what we set that one as main here. And then we have one ID here called message. This one will hold all the message loaded. This one will hold dynamically loaded message from the server. So this div here, that's what it would hold. For now, we don't see it because we are going to style this one. So then after that one is done, we need now to enter two input fields and the button. So here is we have two input fields here. The first one will take the username, and the second one will take the message. And here is the button to which a method send message is attached. Then this is already what we have here. But after that, we also need to style this one, and then we need to create our style.css file. And this style.css, this a lot of styling. It's not the purpose of this video, but I will keep this one also in my repo. But yeah, so this is the styling that we used. You can pause it and type it in case you are duplicating, you are typing these projects. Then yeah, so here is the contents, and then once we go here and refresh, so we can already see that it's already looking at something here. So we are good to go now. So what we have to do now is to implement our client. If we come here and type me, we can see we have no message here. Nothing is being sent to the server, and because of that, nothing is saved in the database. So okay, then we need now. So here, the first thing that we have to do is to declare our socket instance. .io. So that's what we have to do. Then now, before doing anything, we need to load all the previously, we have to display all the message previously sent upon connecting. As you remember, each time that we connected here, so each time that we connected, we needed to fetch the messages, and then we send it with this this event name that this is the message that we sent, and then we also need to cache this previous message. So and then we come here and then socket on previous message. So we receive that message here, and then we grab our message element here, ID here, we grab that ID, and then we attach whatever message content that we have. We try to create some list here and append. You can see div append child here and append them. So here is that. And we shouldn't expect anything because it is then we need to create a new message, some new messages, and then same thing from here. So we grab the messages, and then we add a new we go to a new line, and then we show we go to the new line, and then we append a new element here. So username and the message. Here is we create this a new lines, go to the new line, create a new message elements, and then append it to the div, this top div that we have here. Then after that one is done, we need to send the message. So when we press now on button send, so we come back here, so we get the value of the username, the value of the message, and we check if both are filled. Fields are filled. If they are filled, then we can send the chat message now to the server, and then we clear the input, and that chat messages should come. Here is the chat message that we receive. Then add some random elements and the date, then insert it in the database, and then emit it again to all other clients. So here is that here now, and then we should be good to go. If we come now, refresh this one, refresh that one, and let's create like Mr. Ronald. Hello world. You can see here the message just comes here. So we can also come here, Lucas. So then congratulations, then everything just worked. So this is how we can connect Cassandra to Socket.io, and you can see that we can load this one every time. Is always all these messages are already going to be there because now they are persistent in the database. We said they are not more flush as happened before. And let's try again to go to, I just accidentally closed our terminal, and then let's try to connect again to our batch, and then connect to the shell. So you are there, and then we have to use what was that again? Here is our database. So use our database. You are there, and if we select all from messages, you can see that right now we have two rows now that are inserted in our database. So that is it. I hope that this tutorial has been useful to you. This was just a quick demo, And then in the next video tutorial, we are going to see how we are going to extend this one. First with what we have done before with WebRTC, and then WebRTCs and Angular, and try to bring them together to have persistent applications. So stay tuned for the next video. Bye.